What's going on, everyone? Joe here with Good Old Scratch Custom Apparel. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. In this video, I wanted to push the boundaries of the Prestige R2 Pro. Now, when I first started discovering DTF, people were converting printers in the early stages of the manufacturing of different DTF printers. There were a lot of issues on the maintenance side of them. A lot of people were discouraged because you had to make sure that you did a daily maintenance on your printer, no matter even if you used it or not, to make sure the inks were being properly shaken up and flushed through the system, so that this way you prevented any clogging in the lines or the heads getting damaged. With the Prestige R2 Pro, I wanted to see what it would be like to leave it idle for a full week. I know this was a concern I had initially when, say, I went out of town for some time. How would it be if I left it on its own? Of course, it's recommended to keep your printer on at all times, ideally. But with the Prestige R2 Pro, it does go through its own maintenance process. And basically, the maintenance process is stirring up the inks. And that's what you can hear in the background in a lot of my videos. It goes on all day. I don't know how often. I would say this thing averages almost one every 15 minutes, one every 10 minutes. And basically it's circulating the ink that's in the ink reservoirs. This way it prevents the inks from basically solidifying in the lines, which causes the problem on your prints, obviously. And you deal with that regular home desktop printers, with large format printers. But this was one where it seemed to be pretty crucial to make sure that a maintenance was done regularly on these printers. Now, I just wanted to see for myself, so I let the Prestige R2 Pro sit on its own for a full week. And I'm going to take you over to the printer and I'm going to run a test print to show you what the current condition of the ink is with the heads, and then however many maintenance cleanings I have to do in order to get it right. Hopefully it's okay. So we're going to jump right into that. I just performed the very first test print after the Prestige R2 Pro sat idle for a week. Honestly, the results are not that bad. Head 1 looks perfectly fine, but head 2 kind of looks disastrous. In Hose and Soft, I'm going to do a head cleaning on normal for only head 2. Now I'm going to perform my second nozzle check, see where we're at. Alright, this is just crazy. Head 2 is perfectly fine, head 1 is perfectly fine. Okay, so I didn't expect to be at this part so quickly, but here we are. I'm going to do a quick test print in DigiRip. So it's going to set up a full color page for me to send to the printer to test. So while I have it in DigiRip, before I send it, I'm going to make sure that I size it down because I don't want to waste a ton of ink. So I'm going to bring it down to about 5 inches. Rotate it 90 degrees and center it into the page. Then send it off to the printer. I sped this part up because I know it's boring for everyone. Give me a break. Well, I couldn't be happier with these results. As you all can see, it looks immaculate, exactly how I want the printer to be. When you do your tests and your nozzle checks, just make sure that the heads are firing above 90%. I promise you, I let this thing sit for a full week for this purpose. I've had one experience where I had to do multiple cleanings on the white head, so head 2, like 3 times before it actually started printing correctly, leaving it idle for only 1 day. That was a full week, and the CMYK was perfectly fine, as you saw, but the white needed some cleaning, and one normal cleaning cleaned the whole head. That's pretty fantastic, knowing that you can leave this idle. Now, the manufacturers might not recommend it. I just wanted to show you firsthand as a user what I experienced, that's pretty fantastic. With one cleaning on normal, and I'm back to, I could have run a whole print ready to go. Now, the downside to the process of it doing its own maintenance all daily and regularly throughout the day is you will notice that your waste container starts filling up relatively fast. And that breaks my heart a lot of the times because it's just wasted ink. But it is saving you a lot of money in any kind of head replacement, because that's going to be the most costly part of any replacement you need to get on the machine. So you want to make sure that you're doing regular maintenance. If you haven't checked out my video on how to maintain and clean the damper, the wiper, the head itself, check that out. You want to do that frequently if you're using the printer often, but in terms of just making sure that the ink is being stirred up, the printer does that on its own. But I'm not saying I want you to push the boundaries with your printer, but I know for some of you that are considering getting a printer yourself, you don't know if you're going to be using it all that often, and maybe you've already heard horror stories online about, the printer just being dead after a while because it wasn't being used and the lines got clogged and you had to get a whole new system set up. But this is exactly one full week of it sitting on its own, doing its thing with the maintenance, staying on, and I needed to do one simple normal cleaning and I'm back to normal with the prints. So that's pretty exciting. I wanted to share that one with you guys to hopefully relieve some stress for some of those that are considering it and have been a little bit discouraged by content you're seeing around in people's other horror stories with other types of printers. Now, this is just the Prestige R2 Pro. I'm not talking about all the other printers that are out there for DTF. The Prestige R2 Pro, as you can see, is a pretty big workhorse, so I am excited to see that. So those that have other printers, make sure you're following the regular maintenance instructions that are recommended by the manufacturer. Make sure your ink is in good condition, make sure your lines are good, and keep up on cleaning it as often as you're using it. That's what I wanted to show you in this video. Real simple. I guess it was a little underwhelming because I was expecting to do 3 or 4, maybe 5 different cleanings to show you, but it only took one, so kept this video pretty quick. Thank you all so much for watching. If you could do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and the like button, and leave some comments if you have some stuff you want me to show you or things I should discuss in videos. I appreciate everybody that's following along. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day, and keep being a rock star.
I've been thinking quite a lot about one thing in particular, like